I have 47 subscribers and 58 hours of watch time on YouTube since I started this channel. And to earn any ad revenue on YouTube, I need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So obviously I haven't made any money just yet, but in the 4 months that I've had this channel, a lot has happened in a good way for me anyway. And this is what I want to walk you through today. Hey guys, it's Kerry. And last week, we talked about how when I started this channel, I was 3 episodes ahead, and that buffer that I had of episodes ended up disappearing, and it exposed the dependency between the freelance income I was getting and how the YouTube channel depended on it. This week, we're going to have a different angle, and we're going to just talk about the channel itself and reflect on what it's actually been able to bring for me and for other people as well. So obviously I'm not at the point where it's bringing me any revenue, so this is not really going to be a financial update because for what I'm seeing, that is still years out. But what I want to do today is just kind of take a look at like all of the things that's happened, and really for me, these are like good things that are a bonus on top. And it really makes me happy to be able to see these type of things, and it gives me motivation. Now, it's not my main reason for doing a channel. My main reason for doing a channel is being able to share my financial journey with you guys and hopefully be able to help people out. Also, seeing in real time that it's helping people out, definitely motivating. And I want to go ahead and get into that today. So to start, we're going to hit and show a little bit of the stats on the YouTube channel as it is of this recording. So I started this channel on January 2026. So we're a little bit over 4 months in, and the current numbers on the YouTube channel is 47 subscribers, in which 11 of those subscribers I've got in the last 28 days. And then we have we have 58 watch hours within the last, since the channel started. It says 365 days, but the channel hasn't been around that long, so since it started. And then I have had 5,200 views on these shorts since the channel started, and as of the last 28 days, I have 40 watch hours. So of that 58 watch hours I've had, the last 40 of them came within the last 28 days. Just to give people a rundown on YouTube itself, YouTube has 2 tiers in which you can become monetized. So there's tier 1, where you can earn from things like memberships, super chats, and just shopping on your YouTube channel. And for that, you need 500 subscribers and either 3,000 watch hours in the last year or 3 million shorts views in the last 90 days. And on the second tier, this is the tier where you can earn ad revenue on like your actual long form content and on the shorts feed. So for that, you need 1,000 subscribers and either 4,000 watch hours within the last 365 days or 10 million shorts views within the last 90 days. So where I'm at today, I would need 453 more subs to hit tier 1 and 953 more subs to hit tier 2. And then for tier 1, I would be a little under 3,000 watch hours, and that's on the long form content side. And then for tier 2, I would be needing 3 million shorts views on the short side. So I might have mixed that up a little bit, but we've had it earlier in the video anyway. For me, it's just being honest here, right? My initial goal when looking at these was to get monetized on the long form content because 1, that's what I enjoy more anyway. And at my current cadence, it makes more sense to be able to achieve this goal using my long form content. Also with the shorts, despite what Aaron told me, despite what Soleil told me, I didn't start posting those shorts till the catch up series was actually caught up to real time. And I think that was less than 2 months ago, or really, yeah, only a couple months. And with tier 1 requiring 3 million views on shorts within 90 days, basically my shorts would have to go viral to be able to have me be monetized. So obviously the real route to go is the long form content. With that being the case, it's just to show you where I'm at, and obviously I'm not making money right now, but I want to at least tell you about this so that we can understand that monetization is years away, which is fine, but I want to say what all has happened 4 months in despite me not being monetized. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and get into with that is what happened outwards that affected other people. The first thing I want to highlight is that I had 3 people reach out to me about getting a financial advisor, and I was able to forward them my financial advisor's information for them to have the access to the same resources that I have. it was great to be able to do this because this is something that allowed me to help other people. And it's something that shows that despite what the numbers are showing, or despite how many people are viewing or how many subscribers I have, I can still make a real impact to people without even being monetized, which is great to hear. And it's always great to be able to help somebody else out, to have resources that I didn't know about until I started researching myself. The second thing that actually ended up happening was my financial advisors even watch my own content, which I know that they watched some of the episodes here and there, which is cool. But the last thing that was really cool is when we met on May 7th, they ended up watching all the way up to my current content to be able to be prepared for the meeting, because they have one side of things that are coming in through the system that we set up when I became a client with them. But the interesting thing is that because I have these things coming out in such close real time, and it's about my financial journey, they're able to take these things and bring them to this ad hoc meeting to be able to say things like, oh, I think you've been doing well. It's great to see your content. And speaking, you said this on your channel, so how are you thinking about this? I just was curious about that. And it's great to see that this channel is detailed enough to even help my financial advisors be able to talk to me about my financial life and my plan, because I'm able to cover things in detail there. And it's great to just see that somebody else enjoys my content too. As far as like the next section of things that happen, I want to go ahead and get into things that affected people's business network and even on my own network. So with Aaron, I'm going to bring him up again. Aaron is obviously my best friend, and he's the one that edits the videos for this channel, despite that stretch of episodes where, you know, my freelance income went a little dry. He is somebody that not only does marketing, he has his own production company. He also has a master's degree in marketing. So 2 weeks ago, I was talking with this company who actually reached out to me because of the content I'm putting out. And after talking with them and interviewing with them to become an equity partner or a revenue split partner, they ended up saying that like my skills would be a little bit overkill for the company where it's at in its current stage, but they definitely would want to revisit the talk again in the future, which I think is great. And it was something where I made a great connection for myself, because they actually referred me to a resource within that company, because everybody within that company already knows each other, and it's a smaller company and it's a great network of individuals. With them, they said that they would be willing, and one of the engineers was willing to talk with me about like my code writing bot on that project. And as you guys know, right now I'm a little busy, so I haven't had the chance to really put focus into that. But it's great to just even expand my network just because of this channel to help out with that. In addition to that, after talking with them and them helping me out there, I was like, I want to be able to still help you out with your company. What are some of the needs you have right now? And the needs that they have right now is they need somebody to help them to be able to bring in more clients so that they can continue building sites for their clients and maintaining them at scale. And with that, I was like, that's great. My friend Aaron actually has a marketing degree and a master's in it at that, and he can really help scale your company so you don't have to worry about, as a CEO, doing all of the sales, and you can free up your time to be doing things that you think are more useful to the company. So with them, I ended up giving a contact earlier this week. I have to follow up to see what really happened, but it's something where that Aaron gets another stream of income, possibly could get another stream of income from this channel, just because I started it and reached out and not reached out, but had somebody reach out to me, and I'm still able and willing to make that connection to help not only strengthen my network, but strengthen his. And then on top of that, literally directly out of this channel, Aaron does have a stream of income because he's editing the videos for this channel. The other thing I want to get into as far as networking is concerned, me and Aaron both have a mutual friend, and this mutual friend is somebody we've known, we probably all known each other since we were like 7, or probably even younger. And we ended up going on vacation for my wife's birthday, and with this friend, Aaron has been going down and doing production work and photography work with this friend because he's also into photography and he's doing really well on that side, leveraging social media. So with that being the case, Aaron was able to make that connection business-wise with him and be able to move things forward in that direction. But when we was on vacation, we were just kind of chatting, and he was saying, I really like your content. It's really been sitting well with me, and it's really been something that I think would surprise me, because I feel like you were the last person to really do any type of thing that's related to content. And I was like, yeah, you're right, but this is something where, you know, I actually do enjoy the passion. And one thing about me, I can be consistent. So it was one of the things where he's like, well, since you have this content, I was like telling him about, oh, well, I helped Aaron with his website for his production company, and I actually ended up changing his website to the point where he was able to upload content to change the different portfolios that he wanted to show on the site by building him a custom website. And he was like, oh, that would be great for me because I'll have constant content rolling in all the time, and I do want just a more professional site and just be able to do things the way I want it. And it's one of the things, like, it's on the back burner for now, but it's something that could come in the future. It's not a recurring client, but it's just great to see that my network is expanding and that even people that I already know are remembering, hey, because of this channel, I remember the skills that he has, and being able to help each other out would also always be great. The last thing I want to talk about as far as my network is the Shopify client. So the Shopify client was mentioned in the episode that I talked about my relationship with risk. And this is where I mentioned that I had the Shopify client. The Shopify client came through my barber I've also known probably since intermediate or middle school, and we just ended up reconnecting because we wasn't like super duper close, but we played basketball together, so we were familiar with each other. And he's a content creator, and he's actually like Kobe Cuts, and maybe I'll try to get him tagged in this video. But for him, it was just inspiring because before I even remotely started this content, he was in barber school. I remember getting cuts from him for like $25, probably like 2 or 3 years ago, going all the way out to like Arlington, the busy side of like Cooper Street, and just having a nightmare trying to get to the barber school. It was hot and whatever. And he got to the point where he has his own booth that's in a barbershop that's sponsored by K104 as the main barbershop for K104. And for over there, it was great because he's gotten to the point where he has his own booth, right? And what he did is he did that through content creation. He decided he's gonna be the best barber, and he started making content, and he went literally from maybe 100 or so subscribers, not subscribers, but followers on Instagram to like 37,000, all within probably less than a year and a half. And it was something where, because he already had an interest in content creation and he saw that I was doing content creation, it kept me in his mind whenever he had somebody that he was talking with and they said they needed somebody to be able to help them with their site, to do site conversions, because their Shopify site, their conversion rate was really low. So when it came to this, he actually referred me to this client that I didn't have to go out and reach out to myself. And it was just because of this channel that it always became a topic. And it was one of the things that I just really valued because it also expanded my network. So even though I didn't end up converting them to my client, I was able to take this opportunity to expand my skill set and just understand what it's like working and negotiating with clients, and where I understood that despite me not getting the money and me not continuing with that client, I was able to still take something away from it. And then the last section of things I want to get into is the channel, not the channel itself, but the things that affected me personally. One of the things I needed to do is I want to be efficient for this channel because that's just how things are ingrained in myself as a software engineer. We always want things to be efficient and maintainable and build a simple system so that way we can handle a lot of complexities that come our way. And with this channel, it was no different. I ended up using Clyde, and I've talked with you guys about this before on using AI to run my channel. And for this, I ended up having some artifacts that I was able to have Clyde keep up for me. The artifacts that came out of this is like the budget sheet. So the budget sheet, it tracks things for like not only like the personal side, but my business. And we're able to see like the income, expenses, is able to ask me like, why did this happen or why did that happen? And it's able to create content out of the changes that happened on that budget sheet, along with having a financial life log. So every week I have like a scheduled job that Claude is like, hey, so what happened this week? And I'm going ahead and log it in this log so that way I can always refer to it later. And I would say, oh, this week I ended up getting reached out to by somebody on this channel to have an equity or a revenue share split for this company that they have. And it reminded me, hey, you should probably reach out to this client. Anything happened here? Or there was things like, oh, so I know that you popped your tire. Did you end up paying the credit card off yet? And things like that was able to remind me and keep up with without me having to go and have a spreadsheet, do pen and paper, or just flat out remember, because sometimes I'm just lazy and I'm probably not the only one. So if it's something where all I have to do is kind of describe what's going on and it keeps the format for me and it remembers for me, I think that's great. Then it also has a summary file that allows it to be easier because I can literally go to Claude and say, hey, go write this episode. They'd be like, oh, okay. I need to pull the finances for XYZ. Cool, they're in the spreadsheet. I'll go grab them and then we can put them out. And then it also has the summary to understand what some of these things on the spreadsheet were for. And then there's a dashboard that has the overall picture of everything, because now I have this dashboard With that, it could say this episode was posted on this date. This credit card was paid off on this date. This happened on this date. And it was really something to help me keep organized for this channel, but it's also something that helps keep me accountable because it's able to ask me questions. And I think it's a system that I can honestly use or mimic in another way to keep my finances on track. And I think it was really useful and something I would have never done if it wasn't for this channel. The other thing that I'll say is what I talked about last episode, right? When I realized there were two types of dependencies that I had for all of the different vehicles that I'm using to create income. And there was a hard dependencies in which I listed, which is like, if my freelance income stops, Brick has to stop, because right now I know Brick has no way of supporting itself, versus my soft dependency where my freelance income stops, my editor stops getting paid, now YouTube takes more hours. And it was one of the things that I knew that in my head, but I never really wrote it down and exposed that risk, because risk is not only just tied to money, but it's also tied to my time as well. And it was something that, because of this channel, I had to make that very clear and make that a strong concept. And I even put in a note, which because of this system I built, Claude will actually tell me next time I have the planned episode to actually list out the hard and soft dependencies so that we don't get surprised like that in the future and understand what the plans are if something happens. Because I had a plan in my head, but once again, it's in the head. You should always have things written down. The last thing that actually happened, which was very interesting, which is awesome to me, is that I talked about an episode where why I chose my high deductible low premium health plan, and then I got into the HSA that came with it. And with this, when I was doing this episode, I was like, cool, I'm just doing this episode because I broke my wrist, and I think it would be great to show people an example of how much things cost. I've never been in the cash before, so maybe I can see how expensive it is with this plan. And I was able to do that, but amidst writing that episode, I actually found out that I couldn't invest my HSA funds without having that minimum, because our previous custodian, and the custodian is just the person that holds your money for whatever investment account you have. So this is the HSA, our health savings account. And with that, my previous custodian required a minimum amount of $1,000 before you could invest your HSA account. But now that we're on Fidelity, when I looked and I was looking for the minimum, I realized, oh, there is no minimum. I could have been investing right away. And I was like, now I can make a change to at least start doing the minimum of taking my employer contribution of $800 and just investing that just for starters, just so that way we can at least grow something. Because right now, me and Slay are both young, and it would be great to take advantage of compounding interest to be able to grow our health savings account, so that way we don't even have to worry about any health issues in the future, because we know that's not taxed, and as long as we use it for health reasons, it'll be tax free. And it's one of the things that it's like, if it wasn't for this channel, I would have never caught that. I would have never went through and decided, hey, let me look at my HSA account and see if that's something that I can even do. And literally because of this channel, that was something that was eye-opening to me, that this channel was like really helping me out on my financial journey, despite me telling you my financial journey. With all of these things that happened within just 4 months, the key takeaways for me that I really got out of this was like, showing things publicly that I have going on creates things for me that happen in addition to this channel. And it's not just this channel that I'm looking to get monetized, so one, it can support itself and I can continue to show my journey, but it actually shows that I can get other things outside of this channel that I don't even have to worry about monetization of this channel, because it's bringing me so many other opportunities. The other thing I'll say as well is that something I didn't really think about until Claude said it here was like, the work that I'm doing on my channel changes relationships, not only the relationships that I don't have for people that I don't know, but it actually changes relationships for people that I do know, because now I am more in their mind, or fresh on their mind, and they see that I can be consistent and hardworking. So they often end up giving me opportunities that I wouldn't have got otherwise, because they are aware that, you know, I'm a hardworking person and I'm actually putting my skills out there, what I can do. And then the last thing I'll say, and it kind of shows from some of these examples, is that when I'm talking about these things and creating content publicly for me on what displays my skills in my financial journey, it actually forces me to do work that I wouldn't have done otherwise. Now I'm being more organized with my financial life, and not just saying I'll put everything off to the financial advisors, which is, you know, pay them for a reason. It's not a bad thing to do that if that's what you want to do. But for me, I always want to try to optimize as best as I can. And this channel is actually forcing me to do that. On top of that, this channel is really having me change my behavior, because now that I'm more organized, I can see those inefficiencies. And despite me having only 47 subscribers and 58 watch hours. You know, that's the only thing that YouTube is measuring in front of my face right now. The things that happen outside of YouTube like are a real bonus to me, and it just really is inspiring, but I just don't want to keep that to myself, and I really want to share that with you guys so that I can encourage you to go and create your own content or just do the thing that you were inspired to do. Because when people see you putting in that consistent work, people always want to help other people that are trying to strive to do better. It's just really something where I just want to put my own testimony to allow you guys to see that despite, you know, what the channel looks like right now and how small it is, it's still making an impact to not only just me, but other people. And it's always great to be able to show and give other people encouragement. To switch things up a bit, I want to also talk about some projections that I have on the channel, because now that I have, this is the 20th episode, so now that I have 20 episodes coming out, and really as I'm recording this, I only have about 17 episodes actually out. I wanted to give some projections based on that progress I made on these 4 months so far. And this is something that I really just kind of let Claude do. So according to its research on some of the comparable channels that it has, personal finance grows at about 6% per month compounded on average. Right now, I'm doing about 23% per month, which is great, which means I'm doing well above average, and that's roughly like 4 times the pace of like average. And that higher rate is obviously going to come down over time as the amount of subscribers that I need to continue to grow gets bigger and bigger. But I wanted to be more realistic instead of just keeping that 23% forever, because then everything will look all rosy. I wanted to just have an upper and lower bound of where I think my growth would be at this pace today, to see how things look out to getting monetized. And for my current projections, at the end of summer, around August 31st, I would assume that I would have a midpoint of around 80 subscribers. And then at the end of 2026, I would have 105 subscribers. And around 1 year from when I launched, I'm expecting to have probably around 115 subscribers. Now you can see the floor and ceiling, these are just upper and lower bounds. And like I said, this is just kind of going off of what we see average. So we're assuming at some point I'm going to come down to the average. And this is just projections, right? Like, it's only been a few videos, not really enough to know just yet, but it's one of the things I just want to see. So I just started to do some projections. And then as far as the watch hour side of it, I'm thinking in the summer that I should have somewhere between 150 or 250 watch hours somewhere. And in the end of 2026, it probably would be between 420 and 660 watch hours. And then a year from now, anywhere between 440 and 700 watch hours, right? A year from now. And right now, 58 seems low, but as you compound, it gets bigger and bigger. And it's one of the things that right now, like I said earlier, my last 28 days produced 40 watch hours. So you can see that it's exponentially growing. But as far as like extrapolating these things out, the tier 1 eligibility, I'm projected to hit it in late 2028 to 2029. And that's roughly 2.5 years, right? Then the 2 years even further, where I'm either late 2029 all the way as far as 2031, which is 3 to 5 years from now. Obviously, that's not something I want to necessarily hear, but I've always wanted to try to at least project some numbers out there. And as we get more and more videos, we'll get to have a little bit better projections overall, because I obviously am not wanting to continually put money in the hole for that many years. But for me right now, I'm not going to look at this and change anything, right? My weekly pace of posting on Thursday, doing my 3 shorts a week, Thursday, Saturday, and Monday, is sustainable. It works for me. And right now I have other streams of income to support YouTube itself. And trying to change everything right now would be premature. And the next thing I really want to get into is when I have enough videos is to look at the analytics and start to make my videos a little bit better over time. But that's something that I would want to do at like 50, probably 50 to 100 videos in. Right now, I'm not even at 20. This is the 20th video. So doing that right now would be a premature optimization, and the channel is just going to stay the course. But I've always wanted to do a projection, and maybe we can do this again from time to time and just kind of see how things change. that about wraps it up for me. So I thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'm just curious for you guys, what's something that's stopping you from doing some content creation to let others know what you're passionate about? I would love to know in the comments below. But as usual, I'll see you next week. Mika's Financial Journey YouTube channel. Peace.